mountain family in 1920 could put up 100 eggs in April and have them still fresh and usable in December. No refrigerator, no freezer, just a stoneware crock, a specific liquid, and a set of habits the mountain families understood well. The method is called water glass preservation, and it's one of the most useful, most forgotten food preservation techniques in American history. It's genuinely real, still works exactly the way it always did, and can be done in any modern kitchen for less than the cost of a dozen store-bought eggs. Here's what water glass egg preservation actually is, why it works, exactly how to do it, and the safety details that separate a good batch from a spoiled one. First, the reason mountain families needed to preserve eggs at all. Chickens lay in bursts. In spring, when the days are long and the birds are in peak condition, a small flock can produce more eggs than a family can eat. In late fall and winter, laying drops off drastically, and the family that had eggs to spare in May has none to eat in December. Modern chicken keepers deal with this by supplementing light or by simply eating fewer eggs in winter. The mountain families dealt with it by putting up the spring surplus in a form that would last through the lean months. Water glass was the method of choice. Water glass is a solution of sodium silicate, an odorless, colorless, alkaline liquid that, when eggs are submerged in it, creates a physical and chemical seal on the eggshell. The seal keeps air out and moisture in, and the alkaline environment discourages the bacteria that would otherwise spoil the egg. The chemistry is straightforward. An eggshell is porous. Under normal conditions, the pores allow slow moisture loss and gradual air exchange, which is why eggs stored on a counter go bad in a few weeks. A sodium silicate solution coats and partially seals those pores. Air stays out. Moisture stays in. The egg inside remains, effectively, in the same state it was when it went into the crock. Eggs preserved this way have been documented to keep for 6 months routinely, 12 months without much trouble, and, in the mountain family's experience, up to 18 months in a cool cellar. The eggs at the end of that period aren't quite as fresh as a new laid egg, but they're safe to eat and perfectly suitable for baking, scrambling, and most cooking purposes. If this is the kind of mountain knowledge you want more of, our free Appalachian Almanac goes out every Sunday. One real method, sourced and tested, in your inbox. Links in the description. Now, how the mountain families actually did it. The traditional method used a stoneware crock, a big one, 5 to 10 gallons, filled with water glass solution. The solution was mixed at about 1 part sodium silicate to 9 parts water, a 10% solution, which was standard. Fresh eggs were laid gently into the solution, one at a time, blunt and down. As the family collected new eggs each day through the spring laying peak, they added them to the crock. The eggs settled on top of each other in the solution, submerged completely, protected from the air and from most bacteria. A wooden lid or a piece of cloth covered the crock to keep dust out. The crock went in a cool corner of the spring house, cellar, or unheated pantry, somewhere the temperature stayed below 60 degrees year-round. The critical detail that most modern accounts get wrong is which eggs you can use. The eggs must be absolutely fresh, ideally same-day laid. They must be clean but unwashed. They must be uncracked. Fresh matters because the preservation only works from the moment the egg goes into the solution forward. Any deterioration that happened between laying and preservation stays with the egg. Only just laid eggs give you the full storage life. Unwashed matters because a chicken's egg comes with a natural coating on the shell called the bloom or cuticle. This bloom is a protein layer that seals the pores of the shell and provides the first line of defense against bacteria. Commercial eggs in the United States are washed at the packing plant, which removes the bloom and is why they must be refrigerated. Farm fresh, unwashed eggs still have their bloom, and that bloom works with the sodium silicate to seal the egg. If you wash the eggs before preserving them, you lose the primary protective layer and shorten the storage life dramatically. Uncracked matters because a crack is a highway for bacteria past all your defenses. Any egg with a visible crack or a soft spot goes into today's cooking, not into the crock. The mountain families collected eggs daily, gently wiped off any obvious dirt with a dry cloth, never washed, inspected each egg carefully, and added the clean, uncracked, unwashed eggs to the crock. Anything that didn't meet those standards became breakfast. Now the modern safety guidance, because this method is real but has to be done right. Use food-grade sodium silicate. It's still available from soap-making suppliers and homesteading sources. Don't use industrial-grade sodium silicate, which may contain impurities not safe for food contact. Use only clean, unwashed, uncracked, fresh eggs. If you're buying from a farm to preserve, ask specifically for unwashed eggs. If you keep your own chickens, collect eggs daily and preserve them the same day for best results. Keep the crock cool. 60 degrees or below is the target. A cellar, a spring house, a cool basement corner, not a warm kitchen. Check the eggs before eating. When you take an egg out of the crock, rinse it in fresh water. Then break it into a separate small dish before adding to your recipe. A properly preserved egg smells normal, has a clear egg white, and an intact yolk, and looks like a fresh egg. An egg that's gone bad has an off smell, cloudy or discolored white, or a broken yolk. Throw it out. This is the same standard you'd use for any egg. The overwhelming majority of properly preserved eggs will be fine. The occasional bad one will be obvious. Don't try to hard-boil water glass preserved eggs. The shells are sealed enough that they tend to crack in boiling water. Use them for baking, scrambling, frying, and anything else where the shell isn't in play. A few other notes worth knowing. Modern lime water, pickling lime dissolved in water, is another traditional egg preservation method mentioned in some old accounts. It works similarly and is also documented as safe when done properly. Water glass is generally considered more reliable and easier to work with. The eggs, over time, develop a very slight sulfurous smell when the crock is opened. That's normal. The eggs themselves, when broken open, smell like fresh eggs. The solution can be topped up as it evaporates over the storage period, using distilled water. Don't add more sodium silicate mid-storage. The initial concentration is what matters. Modern refrigerators do the same job in a different way. And if you have consistent refrigeration, refrigerated egg storage is easier and works well. Water glass shines in situations without refrigeration, homesteads, off-grid living, and preparedness situations where a power failure could otherwise cost you a season's worth of eggs. The deeper lesson is one this series keeps circling back to. The mountain families didn't have a freezer, so they figured out how to make a season of eggs last a year. They didn't have a refrigerator, so they built a spring house. They didn't have grocery store convenience, so they turned every season into a year-round food supply through methods that used chemistry, biology, and patience, and cost almost nothing. Water glass eggs are one of the clearest examples of that ingenuity. A simple alkaline solution, a clean crock, fresh, unwashed eggs, cool storage, a year of eggs from a spring flock, held in reserve for the lean months when the hens weren't laying. Cheap, effective, real. A stoneware crock in a cool corner. 10 gallons of solution. 100 fresh eggs put down in April. A dozen eggs in the crock still fresh in December. The Appalachian way of not letting a season's surplus go to waste, and one of the most useful food preservation methods anyone forgot. The chemistry of sodium silicate preservation, the historical references on water glass eggs, and a modern step-by-step for beginners are all linked in the description. If you want all of these methods in one place, the Appalachian Way Field Guide has 47 of them with the original sources behind each one. Link below. Real methods, real sources, real history. That's the Appalachian Way. We'll see you Friday.